Superior memory. Have you ever talked to a person and it seems like they can remember everything while you can't even remember what you had for dinner 2 nights ago? Well, there isn't something wrong with you. Some people remember things at a level of detail that feels impossible. Not just facts, but entire scenes, conversations, the layout of rooms, or even what someone wore years ago. Superior memory is not about remembering everything. It's about recall that is unusually accurate and long-lasting. In some cases, people can visualize information almost like reopening a saved image. This is not photogenic memory in the fictional sense, but it's close enough to feel unreal. The brain stores information the same way, but the retrieval process works differently. The pathways stay stronger. Memories don't fade or blur as quickly. For these people, the past feels accessible instead of distant. Perfect pitch. Have you ever seen those videos of Charlie Puth being able to hear a sound and instantly know what note it is? No reference point, no comparison, just pure recognition. Pitch Perfect allows someone to identify or reproduce a musical note the same way most people recognize colors. There's no thinking involved. The information arrives fully formed. This ability is usually developed in early childhood, especially in people exposed to music at an early age. When it appears, it feels like a shortcut in perception. The brain doesn't process the sound relationally. It processes the sound absolutely. A note is not higher or lower. It simply exists. For a musician, this could be a powerful advantage. For others, it could be a massive distraction. Music that's slightly off doesn't just sound wrong, it feels wrong. It's like a visual error that can't be ignored. Human calculator. You're doom scrolling at 3 a.m. and you come across a math competition where the contestants solve the problem before you can even read what the equation was. The competition must be fake, you tell yourself, but that isn't actually the case. Some people can perform complex math instantly. Large numbers, patterns, dates, all without writing anything down. There are no visible steps. The answers are just fully formed. This ability is not about memorizing the formulas. It's about recognizing numerical patterns at extreme speeds. The brain groups these numbers into relationships instead of individual pieces. What looks like a calculation from the outside is actually recognition on the inside. It resembles reading rather than solving. Many human calculators struggle to even explain how they arrive at their answers. They only know that the answer is correct. It feels less like thinking and more like revealing something that's already there. Facial recognition. You ever see someone look directly at you and wave? You know for sure that you've never met this person before, but they're sure that they remember you from an event years ago. Now you just feel awful. Well, this isn't entirely your fault. Most people forget faces quickly. Some people, however, never forget them. These individuals are called super recognizers. They can see faces once and identify them years later. Changes in lighting, age, hairstyle, or even expressions don't matter. Their brain locks onto structural details that most people overlook. Eye spacing, jaw shape, subtle asymmetries. Law enforcement agencies quietly recruit people like this because even with their advanced software, they struggle to match their accuracy. For these people, faces aren't a fleeting impression. They become permanent records. Lucid dream control. You are dreaming and you're aware of it. Instead of waking up, awareness stays active. Lucid dreaming occurs when the brain enters a hybrid state. The body remains asleep, but parts of the conscious awareness turns back on. This allows the dreamer to observe or control the dream environment. Flying, changing locations, replaying moments, interacting with dream characters while fully aware that the experience isn't real. Brain scans show activity patterns that resemble both waking consciousness and REM sleep at the same time. This isn't imagination, it's a conscious experience inside a closed system. A reality created entirely by the brain while the awareness remains present. For some people, it happens naturally. For others, it requires deliberate practice. Either way, it blurs the boundaries between sleep and consciousness. Speed reading. Most people read one word at a time. Speed readers don't. They process text in chunks. Sometimes entire lines are absorbed at once. This isn't skimming. True speed reading maintains comprehension while dramatically increasing speed. The brain stops sub-vocalizing. Instead, meaning is extracted directly from the visual input. It feels less like reading and more like absorbing information. Ideas move through the mind with little resistance. Not everyone can do this, and not all material works equally well. But when it does, it feels like accessing a higher bandwidth mode of thinking. Human sonar. Some blind individuals can navigate the world using sound alone. They create clicking noises with their mouth and listen to the echoes that return. Walls, doorways, objects, and distances can all be perceived. Brain imaging shows that the visual cortex activates in response to these echoes. The brain repurposes unused regions to process spatial information through sound. This is vision without sight, space without any light. This isn't symbolic or metaphorical, it's functional perception. Some of these individuals can ride bicycles, walk through crowded environments, and avoid obstacles with precision. It's one of the clearest demonstrations of the brain rewriting its own rules when necessary. Pain Asymbolia. Some people with this condition experience pain signals without emotional distress. They can identify sharpness, pressure, or heat, but the unpleasantness is missing. Normally, pain contains of two components, sensation and emotional meaning. In this condition, those components are separated. The brain detects damage but does not assign urgency or threat. Someone might calmly observe an injury without panic or reflexive withdrawal. Medical professions find this condition extremely dangerous, not because the pain is absent, but because its warning system no longer functions properly. It demonstrates something deeply unsettling. Pain is information and suffering is interpretation. How many of these surprised you, and which one of these would you choose if it was possible? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching.